Breaking news, breaking news, breaking news. Yo, we gonna ride right now. We gonna ride. Check it out, right? The Honorable Donald Trump has come out and said that Sean P. Diddy Combs has asked for a pardon. Now, everyone is wondering what they're gonna do. I want y'all to put in the comments, put why or why not should Trump Trump not give Diddy a pardon. You see, I'm tongue-tied like a mother because I can't believe it finally came out. I say he's going to give it to him. And I'm going to tell you why I say he's going to give it to him. But I want y'all to put in the comments if you think he should get it or he shouldn't get it. And man, let's start the party, all right? You know what it is. Unique Make Audio, man. We here, man. The Honorable Donald Trump has come out and said that P. Diddy asked him for a pardon. Do y'all think he should get it or he shouldn't get it? We're going to get right to the point. We're not going to hold this up. I'm going to play the video and we're going to get into that. All right? This is the news that's going on out there right now.
President Trump says Sean Diddy Combs has asked him for a pardon.
I have a lot of people have asked me for pardons. I call him Puff Daddy has asked me for a pardon.
Right there. Puff Daddy is asking for a pardon. Remember last time he said Puff Daddy didn't ask him for a pardon, right? Now I want to show y'all something so y'all understand what's going on. Because y'all sitting here and saying, y'all don't understand that we have a president in office that's not afraid to do what he wants to do. As he say, he goes by his gut. You know, he don't worry about what the other side think, what this side think, what that side think. He do what need to be done. Now, I'm going to show you something right here, right now, right? Check out Trump and, Diddy in happier times, even with the first lady. Don't y'all forget this, right? Don't y'all forget that they was friends. Once Donald Trump got in the White House while he was running, Diddy picked, as Donald Trump would call it, the wrong side. So he went up there and he was running his mouth. You know what I mean? But everyone runs their mouth because they got lips. You know, Donald Trump is a New Yorker. Donald Trump is from the street. Some even call him a gangster. I'm not going to give my opinion because, I'm the, narrator. Now, Donald Trump is the only president in my history of 61 years living that actually took a look at the injustice that was being done, and he had his son, Jared Kushner, go out with other people. Brittany Barnett, round of applause to her. That's who got me out. All right? Let me finish this, man. I'm hyped. You know, because bottom line is, I was at the sentencing and I heard Diddy's speech. And before that, I would have said, let him do his time. And I still say, man, it's only 42 months, Diddy, do your time. But when you had a $68 million yacht, you jet setting and you're doing everything you want to do like Diddy, 48 months become like 40 decades. You know? So I understand where he at. But I would still say, Diddy, just lay down, do your time. But the Honorable Donald Trump is going to come and get you. I'm going to break that down to you so y'all understand what I'm talking about. Look at these men in happier times, okay? What they had was just one speaking his mind. Donald Trump is from New York. We have thick skin. You understand? Look at the people that he put in his cabinet. A lot of people that he put in his cabinet, they publicly went up there and said worse than Sean Diddy Combs said about Donald Trump. You know, I remember, I'll show you how much of a man Donald Trump is, and he go by what he feels is right? Because I respect Donald Trump to the fullest. I don't care who don't like it, right? Now, he had a verbal issue with Kennedy, who's in charge. I don't know what's his first name because there's so much of them, and all of them did a great job. The Kennedy that right now is in charge, I think, the health. Y'all correct me if I'm wrong, because I know we got a lot of rat bastards and flip-flop wearing and public trolls out there. So y'all put up there the proper Kennedy, because he gets a round of applause too. Relax, y'all, relax. Even though a lot of people don't agree with what he's doing, a lot of people don't agree with what Donald Trump is doing, and a lot of people don't agree with what they said Sean Diddy Combs was doing. But we could all agree to disagree. Now, take Diddy out of that, because we already know the rat bastard. We're gonna say, oh, I'll get put in there. But we're not putting Diddy with Donald Trump and Kennedy. Let's get that right. Kennedy up there, and he's making certain moves that, you know, the other parties is going against, and they saying this and that, but he's sticking to his guns. And Donald Trump said, I put him in there, that's what it is. And he was one of the outspoken ones that was against Trump to the fullest, and Trump put him in a powerful position like the hell saw. Now you think that little bit that Diddy said is gonna, you know, say he's not gonna let him out? This is his partying buddy. You know, listen, man. Donald Trump used to go to the parties with Russell Simmons. Don't forget, him and Russell was cool too. So he ran in these circles, and he knew what time it is, and he experienced firsthand what the Justice Department was doing by them taking him to court in New York and finding him guilty. So he knows what the struggle is like other than being on the inside. Look at him and Sean Diddy Combs. Do you think that he'll actually sit there and let Sean stay in jail when Sean is more valuable to Donald Trump out of jail? Imagine the amount of people that supports Diddy, that Diddy gets pardoned by Donald Trump, and now Diddy tell his millions of people, how many millions he got on Instagram, TikTok, and all that. If he go out and he start rallying for the honorable Donald Trump, because y'all don't like it because I rally for Donald Trump. I'm gonna keep it 100. I'm gonna give Donald Trump a big round of applause. All right, relax, y'all, relax. Gunshots, let me talk already. Now, the reason why I say that is, right, because I had life plus 20 with no chance of parole. I deserve to go to prison. I poisoned my community. I served my time. I was young. I did foolish things. I was selfish. I just worried about getting a bag like a lot of y'all is worrying about it. So I'm telling you, don't do it. It's not worth it. You don't want to be in a situation having to pray we get another honorable president like Donald Trump in to pardon you. Before Donald Trump came with all that pardon, all that no disrespect to you know, the clemency thing that President Obama did. You know, he gets the utmost of respect as well. But that was nothing compared to what Donald Trump did. I think Obama got out maybe 2,200 people with the clemency. Donald Trump got out over 10,000 that was self-rehabilitated. I've been home 5 years, and I'm one of the people that the Honorable Donald Trump got out. And I'm honored that he actually put together a committee that looked at what I've done and what I've accomplished in prison. While I was in prison, I became a certified electrician, certified plumber, certified HVAC and refrigeration, certified electrician, and a certified mechanic. And I took 3,500 hours of psychological training to find out why I was twisted and a juvenile delinquent and breaking the law and poisoning my community and raving havoc. 26 years I had to study that. My first 10 years I was still violating. I was on the compound breaking the law. I didn't care about nothing. But after a decade sitting and I started listening, and the wisdom from Dr. Guy Fisher resonated with me. Let me tell you about Guy Fisher, right? I'm gonna tell you about Guy Fisher. I'm in Allenwood, right? I'm running wild. I'm doing everything. I'm smoking, I'm drinking, you know what I mean? I'm just an animal out there on the compound. I'm like I'm still on the street. I'm shooting CeeLo in the yard. And, you know, I'm carrying on in the visiting hall out there. And God said to me, slow down, youngin'. You know they expect you to die in here. He said, I got some classes I'm teaching over at the school, and I think that you'll be good to come over there and would benefit from it. I'm doing the screenwriting class, or this and that class. And y'all put in the comments, what do you think I told Dr. Guy Fisher when he said that? Dr. Guy Fisher offered to educate me. And I was just coming out of ADX. And he said all these wonderful things about school and about bettering myself, about going home to my aging mother. And by the time I get out, everybody will be dead if I don't die before them. What do you think I told Dr. Fisher? I told him, get the F out of here with that crap. don't want to hear that crap. I want to smoke this weed, drink this white lightning, and shoot this CeeLo in the yard, man. You know what I mean? Them people can't break me. I'm a gangster. I'm going to get up out of here. I told God, get up out of here with that crap. I didn't want to hear none of that. The same way you youngins don't want to hear. But after a decade, then I settled in, and everything is documented from what I did after my decade all the way up. 16 years of constant programming, and I began programming at the time when I told God Fisher, get the hell out of here. But only reason I was programming is, I'm gonna tell you one, right? We riding. We're gonna get back to Diddy, but we riding, man. We riding. I'm in ADX Supermax. I'm locked down with Juan Ramon Mata. I'm locked down with Harris L from Baltimore, aka Mo Gary, Mario Villabona, the Unabomber, Woody Harrelson's father. You know, I'm there with everybody, man, right? So now, while I'm up there in ADX, the old heads told me there, this was, before God, they told me there, they said, dog, you can't read, you can't write, you keep bringing your letters to the yard force to read. They got a GED class and they put it on the TV. You need to get your DD, get your life together, because the only way to get out of here is to program. I said, man, I don't give a crap about that programming crap, you know? So they said, okay, well, if you don't program and at least play the activities, the events they have on Sunday, they pass around bingo and crossword puzzles, and they do, I'm talking about, they do bingo on the TV where they call out the number with all this crap on the TV. I'm like, man, I don't give a about that crap. And just like I don't give a crap about no education right now, you know? And they said, but that's the only way you could get picture tickets in order to take a picture to send home to your kids. I said, huh? Do you know how slick ADX is, right? 'Cause don't forget we ride. I'll tell you about ADX now. We're gonna get to Diddy and all that, right? They so slick, right, that they knew they was hardcore gangsters like me that was all screwed up in the head. So they said that only way we could be able to take a picture in the ADX Supermax was to participate on the weekend activities that they came around with some bullcrap newspaper they gave you that had the TV guide. I didn't even want the TV guide from them, except I had to know what was coming on, because in the cell, we had everything they had in the USP. Remember, ADX stands for Administrative Detention Maximum. So everything that the other inmates in the regular penitentiaries and the regular mediums and all that is allowed to have, I'm allowed to have. So on my TV, I had, at this time, we had HBO, Cinemax, TNT and all that was popping with the games. I mean, everything was in the cell. We even had MTV in the cell. And then they had Channel 3 that they put different stuff on. On Mondays, they did the, Nation of Islam. And, Fridays, they did Juma. All this on the screen. That's how sophisticated it is. But only way to get a picture to send home to your family is you had to play these silly little games they had. So I played the silly little games. So then they said, oh, I see you like the tickets for the games. They said, okay, I tell you what, we have some psychology classes that we think you'd be good for. I said, psychology? He said, yeah, you can find out why, you have no empathy. I said, I don't need no empathy where I come from. He said, yeah, but the world is changing. You're going to get around people when you get out of ADX Supermax, other officers that, it's going to piss you off. So they said, matter of fact, let me ask you a question, right? They said, why did you allegedly jump on those police in Lewisburg and start that riot? And I said, he pissed me off, allegedly. Right? He said he pissed me off. And he said, okay, well, that dude was a 19-year-old dude, just came out of the military, been in there from he was 16, and he's never been around a gangster. So you have to learn to put yourself in the other person's shoes. That's called empathy. So you could understand that the things they're doing is not a disrespect intentionally in your world. I said, damn, that makes sense. So you told me I shouldn't have busted it? He said, no. If you would have used some empathy, you'd have realized he wasn't being disrespectful. I said, but, he said, stop. I'm getting ready to walk away from, he was in front of my cell, right? He said, I'm getting ready to walk away from the cell now. But check it out. When they used to come in the cell, right, they got a sally port in the middle. I'm going to show you, I'm going to do another one, show you the video. But they got a sally port in the middle, like a little hallway, and that's caged in with a fence. Then they got bars over there, and they come in that little sally port, and they got a police on the left, police on the right. And while he's talking to you, if you do anything, they got these long baton with these little metal knobs on the end that's straight electricity. So now they cock that on the bars, right? Because it's in wood, but the thing is on the end. If you come anywhere near him, put your hands where they don't like, do whatever they don't like, they're gonna zap you that quick. This I'm living at the time, right? So I took the psychology classes for the tickets. You know, I took my GED. You know, got my GED in 1988, in 1998. In what the exact date was September 12th, 1998. Round of applause to me. I got my. Oh, come on, man. These applause already. Can I finish? May I finish? Let me finish. So now I got my GED on September 12th, 1998, right? From that day forward, you know, once I learned to read, I passed so much, but the test was so easy back then that you could fail the writing, you know what I mean? As long as you answered the questions right on the thing. So you could fail writing and science and still pass the test as long as you got over like 224. And I think I got like 225, you know, something like that. But I was still happy. I sent the GED home to my mother. She was so proud. She said, baby, this means more to me than the house you brought me, the BMWs, because you're on the right track. And then I decided to fall back and listen a little bit, right? But, you know, I say all that to say that I rehabilitated myself. That's called self-rehabilitation. And the Honorable Donald Trump came in and he put into place something that gave the judges the power to look back at our sentences, because they knew that we was being sentenced under what they call draconian sentences, meaning decades for crimes that was happening right now today that you wouldn't get nowhere near that time. But they said these new laws is not retroactive, meaning they don't go back to you old dinosaurs from the crack era. It's just going to move forward from the fentanyl on up. You know, is this crazy or what? Because there was a case, right? I feel like riding real good, man. Now let me finish this little joint here, man. I'm riding too much. Hold on, let me get back to this joint here, man. And I'm gonna even give you a different background real quick. Let's take you right here. All right. Yes, basically the time did not fit the crime, and the Honorable Donald Trump came in and he started handing out, you know, pardons, and you know, he put the First Step Act. Over 10,000 people came home on the First Step Act. So if y'all want to be mad at that man, be mad at that man. I'm glad because I came home on it. A lot of my comrades came on it, and a lot of my other comrades is just waiting to come out on it. Like Boy George, I'm getting ready to write a letter for Boy George. Boy George is looking at coming home under the same thing. You know Boy George. You know, and then you also got Preem. Everybody's trying to get out on it, man, because he gave us hope when we were scheduled to die. And then now Diddy's in a situation where what I heard him say in that letter at his sentencing, I feel that year in that environment after living that glamorous life really woke him up and he got it together. His speech was perfect. I would have never said all that crap in no courtroom, knowing that I might have to appeal it if the Honorable Donald Trump don't pardon me. But he did. That I would have said all that when this was over. That's when I think he should have spoke, not in the courtroom, because it wasn't going to help. The judge already said I already got the sentence and I didn't use, you know, the acquitted conduct, but I did use the coercion, even though the jury found you not guilty of coercion. So that's why now they're going to take that to the appeal court. But let's get to what Donald Trump has to say now. Check it out. You talking about the Puff Daddy.
Combs is serving a 4-year sentence in a New York City jail on 2 prostitution-related charges. Attorneys for Combs have not commented on President Trump's remarks, but they are asking to move his sentence to a low-security federal prison in New Jersey. ABC News legal contributor Brian Buckmeyer is following that story for us. Brian, you say the president could help Diddy get released without a pardon or full clemency. How so?
Talk to him.
So I mean, it would be the other way around, that he can, in fact. The president has very broad powers in terms of clemency. Clemency being the larger umbrella where both a pardon and commutation could come up. Now, for most people, they make an application to the Office of the Pardon Attorney in the DOJ, but someone like Sean Combs could go directly to the president, or he could just simply hear of him, and he can either reduce his sentence to the point that he can get released, a commutation, or give him a full pardon.
You say there's also a program that could reduce Diddy's sentence for a year? How?
We're gonna get into how a sentence could be reduced for a year, but let's talk about this. Let's talk about this pardon, right? Or clemency. Do you think that Diddy should or shouldn't be pardoned? please put in the comments. I want to hear from you. I'm even gonna put my number. I might do a live on that later. I think I'm gonna do a live on that later on tonight. But that's gonna be the number. Don't you can call now just if you want to give your opinion. This is pre-recorded. It's not live, so don't call me right now and say, "Hey, am I on the show?" You're not on the show, but I do answer the call off the show. So we're gonna get back into this. Oh, and subscribe to my daughter's YouTube channel at Juanita Mecca Audio, and sign up to my man Real Boss TV. Let's get back to this.
Yeah, so the defense attorneys have asked for a program called RDAP. It's a very extensive program that if you're incarcerated in the federal prison system for about a little over 3 years, so Sean Combs would be applicable for that, and also have some sort of substance abuse issue. It's a 9 to 12 month 500-hour intensive drug program that if you are successful at it, you can reduce your sentence by an additional year on top of your already good time that you would serve.
See, the RDAP is a program they have. You can't get the RDAP, you can take the RDAP, but you won't get the year off credit if you got violence or you got a gun. So being that Diddy wasn't charged with violent acts, even though they use, the coercion of what the people said that he was violent, they can't use that in, the Federal Bureau of Prison, AKA the FBOP. So he could get the program, and the program is like 9 to 12 months, like he said. So picture 9 months from now would take him into like August, So that'll be a year that he'll have in right there, plus his good time that, that he got. There's just all types of stuff that he could really get that you won't even believe it as far as that. Let me finish playing this so you can get this.
And Combs' legal team is asking to move him to a low-security prison in New Jersey. How different is that facility from where he is now? And what does the judge have to consider there?
So right now he's in the Metropolitan Detention Center. That's typically for people who are in the process of having a case, either leading up to a trial or taking a plea. And after they are sentenced, like Sean Combs, they will remain there for a period of time until they either go to an intermediary prison where they're kind of sorted out and then sent somewhere, or they're sent directly to their final destination of a prison. The judge can make a recommendation, but at the end of the day, it's up to the Bureau of Prisons to make a determination as to where he goes. But they're asking for Fort Dix, which is just a little under an hour east of Philadelphia, because one has RDAP, that program that can reduce his sentence by additional year. If he did it successfully, would be out in probably like a year and a half. But they're also asking for a low security, meaning he has greater freedoms while in the prison.
All right, so now we're talking about him going to Fort Dix and him waiting. Now, this is the way this worked, right? This was the hardest part of my incarceration doing this whole bid that I was doing, right? Hold up. Y'all got to hit that like button, right? Hold up. You got to put your comments in. You know what I mean? Put your comments in. Hit the like button. All right? Now, the hardest part for that whole 26 years was when I first got locked up, after I got sentenced to life plus 20, and I was sitting in a county jail down there in Virginia Beach, like Diddy is sitting in MDC, and you waiting for them to move you to the institution where they're going to move you to, and you don't know where they're going to move you until they shackle you up and bring you downstairs to leave. So you got, time on your hands, and you wonder when they're going to get me, when they're going to move me. And every night you hear them knock on somebody's door. Johnson, roll up, roll out. Williams, roll up, roll out. Those are the people that they designated to go to the penitentiary. And every night you hoping that they say, Unique, roll up, roll out. Just so you can get out of there and get to the freedom. Fort Dix is so sweet and it's so big. They got two sides. Fort Dix is like being on the streets. Diddy's gonna be the man, he get to Fort Dix. And 9 times out of 10, that's where they're gonna send him. But remember, they could pull a fast one, and I know his lawyers will fight like heck, but they could try and say that he got so much money that he could influence the staff on any population, and he deserved to be locked down 23 hours a day in ADX Supermax, because that's where they put you when your bag is too big. Juan Ramon Mata was locked up for moving tons. He had millions of dollars. He still had businesses in Las Vegas and all over the United States. Big dope boy that was down with Escobar back in the day, right? Just so you understand. And he went there just for his bag. Then you also had Mario Villabona is the one that was, in the indictment. So you rat bastards that just want to talk, and I'm giving y'all facts. Mario Villabona is the one that was supplying Harry O, and what's the other one named? His man out there. What's his name? Harry O. I can't believe I forgot his name. And Mario loves this guy. But, you know, was supplying Bo Bennett. You know what I mean? Bo Bennett and Mario Villabona, they was working together out there. Mario got sent to ADX just because he had the bag. He was a first-time offender, just came from Colombia, didn't break no law, you know what I mean, except got caught up in this indictment as the kingpin. So just for being a kingpin and having the bag, they sent Mario Villabona to ADX Supermax. So now, because he had the bag, so now you don't think if they want, they could send Diddy to ADX Supermax? You don't think Diddy got enough money to, you know, coerce the staff to do something? These are the things in the games they play. So it depends where they playing out with it and how it's going to go. But I just wanted to put that in your ear so you understand. Put your comments about that in there. Because I know y'all say, no, he got to go to a low. No, but let me tell you the difference. You got a camp, right? When you got a camp, there's no fence. Then you got a low, got a little fence, and there's more security. And then you got FCI. That's a medium. Then you got, like, you know, a bigger fence, you know, really like 2. But then when you get to the penitentiary, then around that they have, like, you know, 3 barbed wires, and it looks crazy as hell. You know what I mean? That's the maximum security prison. And then you have ADX that they got up in the mountains of Colorado, where they just bury you in a cell and leave you there for 23 hours a day, and then got another man walking by every 30 minutes to look in your cell to make sure that you're alive and not hanging up. That's how serious this is. They had men there because of the amount of money they had. Y'all out there in West Coast, right? I'm gonna challenge y'all. Go ask Harry O what I'm telling you. There's a whole lot that I know that I ain't gonna say, but go ask Harry O what I'm telling you. Didn't they send Mario Villabona to ADX because he had the bag? So why they can't sell Diddy there because he got the bag? So we all, as we say in the prison, we hope for the best, you know, but expect the worst. We hope for the best and expect the worst. So Diddy's hoping he gets to Fort Dix. If he get there, he's in heaven. I never had a chance in hell in 26 years of getting to Fort Dix on any low security. It took me 20 years to get to a medium security. And then they had a low, and then they had the camp. So so I seen them do everything. I know what they do. Let me let my man just tap out. Man, as a matter of fact, it's over. I'm out of here, man. If y'all don't get it, I don't know what to tell you. Remember to subscribe to my daughter channel at Juanita Mecca Audio and my man Real Boss TTTV. Subscribe, man. Hit the notification bell. Show some love so that we could get, you know what I mean, these numbers up on these channels, because we got to support each other. All right.
Cheers, cheers, toast the crime, toast the crime, the crime, the crime, the crime.
What?
Make a what? Make a audio. Make a what? Make a audio. Make a what? Make a audio. Make a what? Make a audio.
Fresh out the can of 26, he back on the strip, getting back in the mix. What he mentions a gift. You stand up 10 toes down, and I suggest you pay attention to this.
Real.
Take a little gully posse and put it in Harlem. He cut from the bottom, came up from the bottom. Drop the book, you should go and get it. The Instagram page and the YouTube, you could go and visit. Then you could consider yourself LinkedIn. Sit front row and get Jews from a kingpin. How he went through it, so you ain't gotta go do it. To not pay attention would be stupid. Talking about a man that probably put your grandfather on. Probably the reason that him and your grams got along. A man that generated millions on the block, did his time, never squilling to the cops, make an audio.